Aaron Wan-Bissaka looks like he's going to be the next player to be leaving Manchester United this summer under the new Ineos era. Wan-Bissaka currently has 1 year left in his contract, expiring in 2025. So no doubt Manchester United are going to be cashing in this summer, because it's clear Wan-Bissaka will not sign a new contract, with him not being the first choice right back. So Ineos or Manchester United have got a massive task on their hands, scouting the next Wan-Bissaka or the replacement for Aaron Wan-Bissaka to compete with Diogo Dalot. The two names that have been mentioned are Mazraoui from Bayern Munich or Denzel Dumfries from Inter Milan. Now in this video we'll be talking about Aaron Wan-Bissaka and his time at Manchester United, and to be scouting which player is the best suit and best replacement for Aaron Wan-Bissaka at Manchester United, Dumfries or Mazraoui. But before we get into today's video, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, comment down below on your preferred option, or is there another right back out there you would rather over the Mazraoui and Denzel Dumfries. And as always, subscribe if you are new, hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload of Red Devils TV. So let's first talk about Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, Aaron Wan-Bissaka for me has been a great player throughout his time at Manchester United. You know, we signed him back in 2019 under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for £50 million from Crystal Palace, and since then he's gone on to make 180 appearances for the club. I didn't even realise that he's played that many games, to be honest, and he's racked up 2 goals and 10 assists since that time frame. Now, we all know Wan-Bissaka's traits and abilities. You know, he's not the best at going forward and being on the ball as a modern day fullback. When it comes to that one-on-one defending, his trademark slide tackle, he is one of the best in the Premier League in my opinion. And while we're talking about Aaron Wan-Bissaka, let's also dissect his best games at Manchester United. For me, there are 2 games that completely stand out, and that is the night in Paris when we faced PSG, when he completely pocketed Neymar and Mbappe, and the multiple Manchester derbies when Raheem Sterling was at Manchester City and Wan-Bissaka would just have him on toast every single game. Raheem Sterling just was completely useless against Manchester United when Wan-Bissaka was on the pitch, because Sterling just couldn't get past him. And even in more recent times, games like Arsenal, games like against Liverpool as well, Wan-Bissaka, whether he's been playing at right back or left back, has been a great servant. And for me, I'd personally get him on a new contract. I think that he's a player that we shouldn't be getting rid of. Yes, on the ball and going forward, he isn't the best, but if he came to realisation and came to an understanding that Diogo Dalot is the first choice right back and he would be a rotation player, and he was okay with that, then I feel like that we'd have no issue keeping him. But he's got 1 year left in his contract. He's not going to sign a new contract with the club. So it's clear Manchester United are going to cash in while we can, because over the years, United have lost way too many players when it comes to leaving on free transfers. Ander Herrera, David De Gea, Paul Pogba, the list goes on, especially over the years. And I think Ineos are now trying to, you could say, refuse that or to prevent it from happening in future. If a player doesn't want to be at Manchester United and they've got a low contract and it's about to expire, you're going to get sold, unfortunately, no matter how good you are. But as it stands, Wan-Bissaka for me is still a great player, and whichever team does sign him, I think they've got a real bargain, because with 1 year left in his contract, no doubt they'll only be going for 15 to 20 million, when in my opinion personally he's still around 30 million pounds, and United did buy him for 50 million. But that was when he was a young 20-year-old centre-back. You know, I think we signed him at 21 years old. So when you look at it, United signed a great prospect, but has just not really reached that potential whilst he's been at Manchester United. So if you could get a move elsewhere while he's about to reach into his prime, hopefully whichever team that does go on to sign Wan-Bissaka does get a quality player, because I think Wan-Bissaka, like I said, is the best one-on-one defender when it comes to being in the Premier League. But unfortunately, that attacking mindset is where he gets let down, and why he wasn't selected for England for multiple years under Gareth Southgate. Now let's talk about Wan-Bissaka's replacements. Now, first of all, Mazraoui seems like the best candidate that I want to talk about at the moment. He's currently playing out in Bayern Munich, joined in 2022, leaving Ajax on a free transfer. That was also the season that Erik ten Hag left to join for Manchester United. He's a very versatile fullback from what I've seen of him. Obviously, I've seen him in the Champions League. I've seen a few games for Bayern Munich. And like I said, he seems very versatile. He can play right back, left back, and he also can play in the midfield. You've seen him play as an inverted fullback, or you've seen him actually play in the midfield for a few games. So you know, United are also very lacking in the midfield. So to have a player like Mazraoui, that would be a good player. You know, we do struggle in the midfield, and we do need more midfield options. So to know that we'd have a full back who can also play in midfield would be a positive, in my opinion. But he's only made 55 appearances for Bayern Munich in the 2 seasons he's been there, scoring 1 goal and getting 8 assists. He's also worked under Erik ten Hag when he was at Ajax, so if the reports on what they're saying are true, he's apparently rejected West Ham and really wants to move to Manchester United because he wants to play for one of the biggest clubs in England, if not the biggest, and also work under Erik ten Hag once again, who made him the player he kind of is today. And I think that at the age of 26 years old, it's kind of an ideal replacement for Wan-Bissaka, because Wan-Bissaka is also 26 years old and Mazraoui is also 26. So the way I look at it is that my only concern about this transfer is that it's Bayern Munich. Now, United are also trying to work on a deal for De Ligt. Now, Mazraoui, like I said, he would be a great replacement for Wan-Bissaka, but I hope I speak for a few United fans when I say this, is that I would much rather Manchester United sign De Ligt than Mazraoui, and we don't do some sort of double joint deal, because then will massively overspend for both players. So the way I look at it is that Mazraoui would be a great player if we already had signed De Ligt. So I'm really hoping that if we do sign Mazraoui, we also still pursue for someone like De Ligt and we don't go for someone like Braithwaite, because for me, De Ligt's probably the first centre-back we should have signed. But Lenny Yoro, I'm going to give him his opportunity. He seems to be a great generational talent, but for me, De Ligt is just my ideal centre-back signing. And like I said, if we sign Mazraoui, who's also at Bayern Munich, I just hope that the deal isn't like halted or is stopped with De Ligt, because we're trying to sign another Bayern Munich player. So, on to Dumfries, who is a very different type of right back. He's currently 28 years old. He's made over 135 appearances for Inter Milan, scoring 11 goals and getting 13 assists. So if you're comparing goals and assists to Mazraoui, Wan-Bissaka and Dumfries, Dumfries is the best candidate, clearly, by a landslide, you know. But this is where it gets difficult, and this is where the issue becomes, because Dumfries has now been at Inter Milan for over 3 seasons, and Inter Milan do not play with a back 4 system whatsoever. Since Dumfries has been at Inter Milan, he's technically been their right wing back or their right midfielder. They hardly play with your traditional fullbacks in Italy, and Inter Milan use that to full effect. So my only concern is if we were to sign Denzel Dumfries, it would be like if we signed Jeremy Frimpong, getting a right wing back who needs to play in a back 5 formation or a back 3 formation and is just a wide midfielder who drops back occasionally. So this is why I feel like United haven't gone for someone like Jeremy Frimpong, because even though he's got a 34 million release clause, I feel like a lot of teams are quite stupid not to go for Jeremy Frimpong. But for most teams, especially in England, who play with a back 4 formation, it's hard to get a player who is so used to playing in a back 3 or back 5 formation and getting them used to a back 4 system, especially with the difficulty of the Premier League and how that is. Now, Dumfries is a brilliant fullback. I'm not disputing that. But my only concern is that the formation, and would he be able to fit into Manchester United? Now, we also need to be careful and think about Diogo Dalot in all of this, because Wan-Bissaka right now is the bench right back almost. He isn't the starting choice right back, Diogo Dalot is. So the way I look at it is that we need to sign someone who is okay being a rotation option, because for me, Diogo Dalot is easily top 5 right backs in the Premier League. And I feel like Dumfries or Mazraoui would come in and they would want that first team spot, which is great because you always want competitive spots. But I feel like as well that with the likes of Ten Hag choosing Højlund and Xerxes, choosing the likes of Rashford, Garnacho, Diallo, Antony and Sancho, he's got multiple positions where he's kind of got too many options, and you can't make every single player happy. So I'm hoping that we just sign a right back that understands their role, and if they hit the ground running and become a great right back and prove everyone wrong when they get their opportunities and do bench someone like Diogo Dalot, then fair play to them. Obviously, they become the starting right back. But as it stands, that player needs to come in and know their place. That Diogo Dalot is currently the starting choice right back. But let me know in the comments down below on which one you'd sign. Personally, I don't know which one we should sign. You've got Mazraoui, who's already played under Ten Hag and is used to playing the back four system, but when it comes to the stats, he's not as good as someone like Denzel Dumfries. Or do you go for the Denzel Dumfries, who's the more experienced right back, but isn't really a right back, is more of a right midfielder or a right wing back who isn't used to playing in a back four formation. So the players that have been linked to, for me, aren't the right options. I believe there is another right back out there Manchester United should be going for. And I personally have already scouted him, and his name is Alexander Bah, and he plays for Benfica. He's 26 years old, so again, like Mazraoui, a similar age profile to Wan-Bissaka. He's played 47 games in the Portuguese league, scoring 3 goals and getting 7 assists. He's a very good, relentless winger who isn't afraid of getting forward, but also can come back and defend really well. He was also recently called up for Denmark in the Euros, and I feel like he would be a great option for Manchester United. He also has that links with Rasmus Højlund, so he'd come in and obviously have an international teammate. So the way I look at it is that Alexander Bah would be the best option, and he's 20 million euros, so we wouldn't have him to be splashing out a lot of money, and it'd be a similar fee to what we'd be paying or what we'd be getting for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But that's just my opinion. That's the player that I've personally scouted, and I think would be a great choice for Manchester United. But you know, we haven't been looking at him apparently, and it seems that it's either going to be Mazraoui or Denzel Dumfries. So let me know in the comments down below on who you'd rather. And if you made it this far into the video, let me know if you want me to make a full video and a scout report on Alexander Bah. And we'll do so because I think he's a great right back and he would be very good for Manchester United. But anyway, leave a like on the video, comment down below, subscribe if you are new, share the video if you really enjoyed it. I'll always appreciate anything that anyone does when they watch my videos. But anyway, that's me for today. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.